Good evening, Facebook Live audience. 13 News reporter William Ingles coming to you live from downtown Rockford, where this protest continues. We left you about an hour ago. They have essentially told, they have now told protesters this is no longer a peaceful gathering, saying that they are now need to leave the premises, otherwise they'll be subject to arrest. Now, 4 people have already been arrested this evening as part of these protests. And now this group of Rockford police officers continues to advance again. For those of you just tuning in here, this is the continuing protest here in downtown Rockford, the continued city market protest by the May 30th Alliance. So I told you unless, our feed would end unless things kind of ramped up again, which we have seen. And now the Rockford police officers are moving across yet again. So now we continue to march here further down Madison Street, passing the site that will soon be Hotel Kate, as well as to the other side of the UW Sports Factory here. Kurt Wisenhunt of RPD said that this is no longer a peaceful assembly, that they have continued to block traffic, and now they are being told to leave or be subject to arrest. However, I will say I don't know exactly how far they're planning on pushing back this protest. This started originally at the intersection of East State and Madison. We've gone a whole block at this point, even further from the intersection. We've gone a whole block, now approaching a park here on the intersection of Oak Street and Madison Street. As this line of police officers that I'm behind right now continue to walk back this line of protests. So I'm going to get to the side of the street here, try to give you a bit of a recap. It looks like they're stopping here for now. So you can see there are at least 24 police officers over on this end here. So this all occurred. We left you with 4 people arrested at this Friday's protest. However, after we killed our Facebook Live, a group of protesters came back, allegedly or likely from this park right here, so the Ingersoll Centennial Park here. A number of the protesters likely came back this direction, where they then regrouped and came back to the intersection of Madison Street and East State Street. So I'll just zoom you down all the way where that is. So where that sign for East State Street is where we originally started here at the beginning of this Facebook Live. And Rockford Police, led by Ken Wisenhunt, you can see him right in the middle of our screen here with the megaphone, said that this is no longer a peaceful protest, in which he said it's time to move from the intersection or be subject to arrest. We've now moved 2 blocks since then, 2 full blocks over here to the intersection of Oak Street and Madison Street. So there is no telling exactly kind of is this as far back as they need to be. That hasn't really been spoken to by Rockford Police as of yet. They said that they needed to leave the premises, and they walked with this entire group of officers down Madison Street all the way here to Oak Street, where now we are once again kind of at this distance standoff in this direction, where you can see, I'd say, maybe 25 or so protesters are still here by my eye. Could be up to 30 perhaps. And then, of course, this group of police officers here on this side of the street that have marched this protest back about 2 blocks after they were once again blocking traffic on the intersection. Well, not once again, but this is the first time we've seen them block traffic on East State Street and Madison Street, at which point, after about a minute, maybe 2 minutes of them blocking the street, Rockford Police continued forward and marched them off of that intersection, and now we are here at the Ingersoll Centennial Park, where, like I said, we've kind of reached this secondary standstill, I guess. We haven't heard anything from Kurt Whisenhand since he said that this is no longer a peaceful demonstration and that the protesters must leave the area or be subject to arrest. So a lot of protesters yelling at them, go home, you know, you've moved us here, go home, leave us be, as well as some other things as well. But we still have this line of police officers here. There's no telling if this is going to continue to be a standoff. It looks like Kurt Whisenhand continues to kind of have his hand on that megaphone as though he's going to speak again. But exactly what he's saying to his officers there, it's unclear. So perhaps what they are referring to here is that they must disassemble, is what I'm being led to believe here by the continued kind of movement of the police officers. So now you can see there's about 2 groups of police officers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like 9 or 10 or so officers on this side, with I'd say about 2 dozen on the other side here. So for those of you just tuning in, Kurt Whisenhand, which I'm going to zoom in a little bit for, he's going to be about in the middle of the street here with the megaphone, said that this is no longer a peaceful demonstration. This is no longer a peaceful demonstration, that the protesters must disseminate. Originally it seemed like they just needed to move away from the street, but it does look like police are saying that they must disseminate, which is why it looks like they have kind of created more or less surrounding the park, at least from 2 ends here, as protesters are kind of spreading out a little bit more. Remember, just a couple of minutes ago, maybe even just 1 minute ago, we kind of saw a large collection up here, but now as the police have kind of created this kind of cornering scenario here, we've seen a number of the protesters kind of scatter about here a little bit more, as you can see here.
Get out of the road. Get out of the road and scoot back. Thank you. There you go. You're going to scoot back. Tell me to scoot back. Scoot back. You're too close to me. Scoot back. Both of you. Both of you. You're too close to it. Scoot back. Scoot back.
So for those of you just tuning in here, this protest was originally happening when we when we started this Facebook Live. I'm going to zoom all the way in here. Sorry, that's going to be a bit of a shaky movement. You can see here, that's the intersection of East State and Madison Street. Now we are all the way, as I zoom back out here, we are now on Oak and Madison Street. This has been moved 2 blocks by this line of police here that is now split into 2. Originally, they were all kind of further back into the center of the picture. Now they have moved into 2 groups here as this protest has moved back to the Ingersoll Centennial Park. And now you can see kind of this protest is kind of scattered up a little bit to the side, probably to, as they've said, avoid being cornered by police. So this is where they've scattered to this point. Kurt Wisenhunt with Rockford Police said that they need to disseminate. Originally, I interpreted that they just needed to move. He said that this protest is no longer peaceful and that they have caused too much of a danger to the public by continually blocking the streets. Kurt Wisenhunt right here with the megaphone. They haven't made any moves since coming to this direction outside of they created kind of this cornering situation right here. They have about 10 officers in this closer area and about 24 over in this direction. And it looks as though these people will continue to move this way. No telling whether or not Rockford Police will follow this group, but they were told strictly to disseminate at this point, saying that they are no longer a peaceful protest because they were blocking the street, therefore causing a danger to public safety, and that's according to Kurt Wisenhunt with Rockford Police. So as you can see here, I'm going to move the camera again and show that a number of these protesters are moving away, or at least moving to further down the street. I do believe that is Cedar Street, if I'm not mistaken, as we move further down. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do believe this is Cedar Street. So you can see a number of them are moving down this way, and you still have about maybe 5 to 10 people still lingering on this at this corner of the park. So it looks like a number of people are coming over and saying, go back a little bit further at this point.
Oh, now you want to identify.
I gave it to you 3 times.
No, you didn't, bitch. Hold on. So did he identify his number when I asked first? Oh, thank you. We got it on camera. Now he wants to identify. Now he wants to. That's because he's going to call off the point. It's too late. We got it on camera. Don't fuck up. That's what y'all doing. That's what y'all keep doing. Fucking up.
Now it looks like police are going to start falling back here. Back closer to City Market. So now the majority of the protest is back here. No telling as to whether or not they're going to continue marching at this point. So sorry for that focus, kind of that blur right there. But you can see most of the remaining protesters have gone over in this direction by the back of these trees to the back of, if I remember right, that's Cedar Street over there. So that's where the majority of them have gone to this point. And like I said, police are now beginning to walk back to City Market. So no one got arrested in kind of this push all the way to this direction. Sorry about that. So no one was arrested in this push that pushed this protest 2 blocks back. But Kurt Wisenhunt did say that this was no longer a peaceful protest in the opinion of the Rockford Police Department, saying that they had caused an immediate threat to the public by blocking the intersection of East State and Madison Street. And from that point, they moved to push this protest all the way to the Ingersoll Centennial Park over here, kind of across a little bit of ways from the UW Sports Factory, so kind of in line with that. And now you can see that this group is moving forward again. No telling whether or not they're going to move back, but Rockford police have told them to disseminate at this point, or to disperse. So if they were to march back, we would have to assume that Rockford police would be pretty quick to jump into action and likely result in some arrest if they were to push forward all the way back again. So it does appear as though they are beginning to walk back. I don't know if they're just going to go back to this street here or not, but like I said, they have been told to disseminate and that this protest is no longer peaceful.
Well, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. Let's go back.
Hey, real quick, we not done. We just want to figure out the names of some of the comrades that we got, so that way we can try to get everybody out of jail as soon as possible. Anybody have somebody that they know that's missing, somebody that they haven't seen, or does anybody know, besides Ari and Alyssa, does anybody have any other names? We ain't, we ain't abandoning this shit. We ain't waving no white flags. Just gonna try to get some names and regroup. I'm with y'all.
So according to Leslie Rolfe, who is one of the leaders of the May 30th Alliance, says that they are not done yet, that they will not stop until 8 o'clock tonight. Like I told you before, Kurt Wisenhunt with the Rockford Police Department said that this is no longer a peaceful protest and that they need to disperse, more or less a cease or desist by the Rockford Police Department. Right now, according to Leslie Rolfe, they are kind of waiting, trying to get names of people who have been arrested this evening so that they can get them out of jail as soon as possible, according to him. However, it does sound like they do plan to march back to the City Market area. I don't know if they're going to go back to the City Market area or whether they're going to go back to the intersection of East State and Madison Street, which is kind of where the second Facebook Live here of this protest started. And like I said, it's moved 2 blocks over here to the intersection of Madison and Oak. If you're looking for a better idea where that is, it's pretty close to the UW Sports Factory, directly across from it, in fact. So I just hear another couple people saying that they are just regrouping here, that they will continue to protest as the night goes forward. So City Market technically ends at 8 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. So that is generally when the police will give their cease and desist. However, like I said, they've already given one. Kurt Wisenhunt of the Rockford Police Department has given that cease and desist, saying that this is no longer a peaceful protest because they were blocking the street, and by extension, according to the police, causing an immediate threat to the public. So I'm going to move back here a little bit. A number of these protesters aren't particularly happy with media being around, so I'm going to back up a little bit here. Like I said, they have sounded like they're going to make plans to move back here to the protest area, or sorry, not the protest area, City Market rather. So I'm going to move back here a little bit.
You never know. Just never know. Because
All right, so we're going to stay over here now. This is directly across the street from the Ingersoll Centennial Park, directly across from the Ingersoll Centennial Park, where this protest looks to be regrouping before they continue surging ahead of protesting. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you here. Sorry, kind of taking a breath. And kneeling down a little bit here. Like I said, they are trying to regroup here. According to some of the leaders in this group, are trying to regroup before they continue moving forward with their protest. They said it's not 8 o'clock yet, so they plan to keep protesting, and 8 o'clock is, to my knowledge, when City Market is scheduled to end. So that is normally when the Rockford Police give kind of a cease and desist for the Friday protest to end. However, like I said a couple times already, Kurt Wisenhunt with the Rockford Police has said that this is no longer a peaceful protest due to the multiple times that they have blocked traffic, and therefore, according to him, causing an immediate threat to the public.
You're the kind who causes trouble that nobody realizes.
You gotta have a reputation. No. 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 There's no way I can do that. No.
So for now, it looks like this protest is stayed here. Like I said, they have said that they are going to move forward here in the near future. However, with City Market ending at about 8 o'clock, I don't know exactly when that time would be, because it is right now pretty close to 10 to 8 at this moment. So if they do march down, we're going to keep a camera down by City Market in case they do decide to march back here. But for now, I'll just recap one more time. So this all started, I'm going to zoom in down here again. I know it's getting a little dark, so it's going to be a little hard to see, but zoom down here, you can see East State Street, the intersection right there. That's where this protest originally started for the second Facebook Live here. They were marching in that intersection, at which point a line of, I'd say, about 30 police or so marched the protest all the way down across this sidewalk that's kind of in the center of the camera here. Marched them all the way down the sidewalk where there was a rather long standoff here between police and protesters here as I zoom out here. So there was a number of, I'll point out to you, there's a number right there, about 20 or so police, and about 10 or so police went on this end by the UW Sports Factory sign. So there was a standoff with police there. No one was arrested in this rush. There have been 4 people arrested at this protest to this point that I caught on my camera. But to this point, it looks like this has calmed down for the most part for now. Like I said, if protests do continue, if they do decide to march back down to downtown Rockford, we'll reboot this live feed for you. But for now, reporting live in Rockford, I'm William Ingalls. Thanks for watching.